but it is here. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to your Thursday night broadcast here on SRW TV. Tonight we bring to you, thanks to CAMMUS, the Toyota GR86 Series. This is our penultimate round here, thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. And tonight we are at Hungaroring. As always, it is myself, Nathan ShiBBy Howard, and right next to me we have Mr. Ryan Green. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to yourself. Welcome to the greatest Hungarian circuit. I don't know if there's many here, but that by default makes it, I guess, one of the greatest.
It's definitely the greatest, isn't it? How many racetracks are at in Hungary?
Probably a few, but none as grand as this one. It's did get its name after the entire country, so your old chips are being pushed into the table with this one.
Indeed they have, indeed they have. Makes some fantastic racing as well.
Yeah, it's traditionally for your faster F1 cars, it's like slated as the boring race or one of the for the F1 calendar, but with cars like the GR86s, what is a relatively short straight for an F1 car turns into quite a long one for these ones. So the draft down into turn one is going to be pretty immense. Getting a good run out of the final corner, going to be quite hard, quite uphill and slightly off camber as well, so it can get a bit loose. Good thing about this track though is very, very wide. It's, you know, your FIA grade 1 circuit, so all these F1 tracks generally pretty wide. Turn 1's got a whole heap of runoff, a lot of very, very La Source.
Very La Source.
From Spa turn 1. So it's got a lot of the same energies with that, like very sharp hairpin, and then runs down the hill. So you should see some great racing.
Mate, it's the CAMMUS Toyota GR86 Series. We've seen great racing from round 1 right up until tonight, and I definitely don't think they're going to disappoint again. And speaking of our drivers out there not disappointing, let's have a good old look at the standings as of round 7. John McHenry, the man that I don't believe still has taken a win this season. And
he won at Daytona.
Oh, he did, sorry. Yeah, he came from 14th. Yeah, came from dead last, sorry. One win. One win this season. Mr. Consistent, sits in about 4th, 5th place. Will finish the race there and is leading that championship by only 21 points, though, from Mr. Jamie Christensen, followed very closely by Callan Hodgkinson. Lots of points to be awarded over the next 2 races.
So he did break the P4 streak, P4, P5, just outside the podium streak that he had. He finished P2 for the second race last week. Unfortunately, missed the broadcast for that one. So, but he did manage to score quite a big bag of points in that second race. Bruce White took out the win for that one by 6 seconds. So that was a big chunk of points for John and sits atop of the table because of it.
Only just though, mate. Anything could change. We've still got 2 rounds to go. This being the penultimate, and then we have the championship round next week. So only 21 points. That's yeah. If Christensen finishes in 7th, he loses that 21 points. Just gone.
Yeah, so if we're in for a standard round tonight, so first place is worth 150 points still, and the gap's only 21. Granted, it does go down in increments of 5 from first place down, so seconds 145, thirds 140, and so on and so on. So should John McHenry get a decent finish, there is a 5th or below, so 5th and above, he should still maintain that P1 spot, but it's a matter of by how much.
And that's going to be the big question, isn't it? He's been absolutely consistent in that top 5 this whole series. I think the only one to really probably stop him is going to be Jet Murray and Jamie Christian. Although Callan again, Joshua Horton, there's so many great drivers out there this season. Even look at Mr. Dean Sinkovich up in 7th on the championship. He was running some practice laps and I was having a chat to some of the lads. He was only a second behind the front runners. So, you know, any little bit of a mistake, Dean's going to be there on the back of him.
It's pretty evenly spread for the points across the top 5-ish. And then there's a decent jump to Kevin and Dean with 189 and 195 respectively, so those two are quite tight in a battle for P6 in the championship. And then there is a bit of a jump again to the Ryan Prices and Stevens of the world a bit further down. And then Bruce White also not too far behind, can still make up a good chunk amount of points in the last few races, but there's a couple decent points battles going on all throughout the grid here.
As we have just come into our Toyo Sim qualifying session. Waiting to see how many cars actually head out on the track.
In practice, I'm looking at the timing board. There is, should be about 16-ish cars. I'm just trying to spot race control.
Yeah, we've got 16. So practice is now officially over. The timing ran over a little bit there. I thought we locked into qualifying. Now we were going into our Toyo Sim qualifying session.
I think it may have been waiting for the last car to finish its lap.
Here comes our CAMMUS Toyota GR86 drivers heading out of pit lane for the penultimate round tonight here at Hungaroring.
Not particularly new face to SRW, but one we haven't seen, I don't believe, this season. I did race against him last season, but Dylan De Bono is just coming out of pit lane himself now. So, do you believe that's the only new name I can see? So, welcome back, Dylan De Bono.
Dan Bartush. Dan Bartush, I think is a new name as well.
Connor Nixon I haven't seen before.
Good to see Connor back. Connor is doing quite well in the New Zealand Supercars series at the moment, sitting 2nd place. So the man is not slow behind the wheel.
So it's good to see a few familiar faces coming back. I mean, yeah, Dylan De Bono again. As I said, I raced against him last season. I remember a great battle we had at Sandown last season, but we haven't seen him again this season so far, just dropping in for the last couple of rounds, trying to get back into the swing of things. I'm sure life and whatever else has been going on, so good to see him back out on track. He's easy to spot in that, bright green and black livery. I always see him coming up in the rear view mirror, so it's very easy to spot on broadcast.
Oh yeah, and he's not slow. As you said, It's very easy to see him coming up on the rear view mirror, and that's definitely what he does. Very consistent and very quick driver. So I think tonight's actually going to be super interesting. It looks like we've got 17 on track now, so mate, I'm pumped. I'm absolutely pumped.
Yeah, it should be a good grid. The Shouldn't see too much carnage into turn 1. The grid box is quite spread out, it being a Formula 1 track and the cars adhering to those, so we won't see akin to, say, Alton, for instance, where the grid boxes are quite close together and quite squished, the track's quite skinny as well, so cars spread out quite a bit, so getting a good launch off the line's going to be imperative, but it's not going to be as bad as normal. You won't be as prone to losing up a lot of spots, and there's a lot of room for cars to go as well. The only thing is the wall on the right hand side, the pit wall being so close, so see a few instances there, but after that it's just open track, and even on all the exit curb.
Just noticed too, Mr. Josh Horton and Jamie Christensen are spouting some new liveries this evening. No more boogie bombs. They look like they are spouting the Vermilion Motorsports liveries tonight. Could have been a bit of a team pickup there. Yeah, both of them are plastered in NLR Race Lab and do have the Vermilion Motorsports banners across their windshields. So no more Boogie Bomb. That's a bit disappointing. I love that paint. That was definitely my favourite paint.
No, this is a very clean livery though. Obviously, nice acquisition for that team. There's, a couple of pit drivers in there, especially Jamie himself. So I'm sure they'll be happy to see their brand at the front of the grid.
Well, definitely, as we talk about front of the grid, Jet will be the first to come across and set a time. Everybody is on personal best, but Jamie Christensen already on a purple sector. And if you notice, if everybody who tunes in, there's only 3 sectors on this track. Usually,
yeah, again, one of the more traditional F1 circuits, just got the 3 sectors like you would in regular F1. Sector 3 quite short, sector 2 very, very long, and sector 1 being the middle of the 2. So sector 2 is definitely the time spot. There's still quite a bit of time to be gained in the first one. I mean, the last one can make or break the lap, but it starts with all that fast left-hander of turn 4 at the start of sector 2. You can very easily run wide through there and then up the hill through turn 5 into 6 and 7 chicane. So there's a lot of time to be lost at the top of the hill.
definitely, as we see a lot of guys come over the line, but no times apart from Josh Horton, who's locked in a 202.677 at 189 kilometers an hour, and Bruce White has dropped in behind him with a 203.160. So there was a lot of fast personal best. Callan Hodgkinson now will jump into third. So it seems like the guys might have been pushing it pretty hard on their first hot lap, and maybe have cost themselves a 0x here and lost those times. Jet didn't set one. Jamie didn't set one. DeBono didn't set one. Very interesting.
Yeah, turn 4, as I was saying, that uphill fast left-hander can be very easy to wash wide, pick up your invalidation here. You really got to send it through the chicane as well of 6-7, so it'd be very easy to get too greedy with the track limits and pick up off track going over the curbs. You see the orange anti-cut curb as well. I believe you can touch it, but you can't be too greedy with it. All through here, shouldn't really be seeing too many invalidations. You may run wide on the exit of turn 8 here. But other than that, the next main spot where you're going to wash out is on the outside of turn 11, just coming up right here. And it's very fast. You've got to lean on the outsides a lot. And if you run over, I think you have to keep half the car with inside the white line. So a few spots where you can catch you out. It's quite, as I said, it's a Grand Prix circuit, so it's quite high speed for these cars. You've got to ask a lot of the tyres, and very up and down. The elevation changes a lot. So we've seen what elevation changes can do to these cars, so it could be a bit of a tricky one.
Especially when you start slapping 2-3 cars side by side. Completely different situation, them out here running qualifying sort of trying to get some fresh air and do their own, as Greg Johnson jumps up in a provisional 6th at the moment, the 205.970. Still the quicker guys. And we are back. Still none of the quicker guys getting any laps locked in, so...
Was that my end or your end?
That was me. That's my fantastic internet.
Okay, I was confused. I'm like, I was looking at it like...
No, it was me.
No, he dropped out.
This is the thing, I suppose, with esports, isn't it? Even the broadcasters have to rely on decent internet, and man, is that hard to find in Australia.
Yeah, it's more about stability in Australia more than it is, sorry, I'm not sure what's going on with my SDK live timing.
Yeah, no, my SDK is, after that little hiccup, then decided to go, nah, I'm not interested. But we are still on board.
It's interested in a different race on my screen.
Yeah, mine came up saying William Munro or something, and I was like,
Todd Dugan with a 147.1, apparently. I don't know who that is or what track that's at, but see if we can get that working again. We love SDK, so apologies broadcast for the small hiccup. SDK does like to just completely crack the sads if it gets any sort of disruption.
Let's crack some big sads tonight, which is making me sad. We're here for a good race. Lots of cars on track.
So, unfortunately, we won't be able to get any of the split times until we get that one sorted, so just have to take potlucks and guesses at this stage, but the two... Yeah, I was going to say these two cars running very well together, sitting in the tow, but pulling up and resetting back to pits. I believe that is Callan Hodges and Jamie Christensen in these new liveries.
Tis mate, it is. Can Wakefield with a bit of an off there. That's that very fast corner you were talking about. It's probably going to be very easy to see cars slide off there. So I have some of the...
Yeah, turn five's a tricky one because turn 4 will split you out so wide on the right, and then turn 5 you really got to swing it over as fast as you can to the left hand side. Again, for that uphill right hander of turn 5, it's imperative to carry a lot of speed all through there and get that, to really not have your minimum speed come down too much. You're being uphill and these cars not having a lot of power. You really got to carry the momentum, but at the same time, you won't see really cars after the exit of turn 4 getting back over to the left of turn 5. Not even in like GT cars or anything with higher downforce, they really can't. Really, you got to settle for middle or thereabouts of the track before you got to, hit the brakes and make the corner. So it's one of those. It really does reward. It's a bit of a push and pull through turn 4. You can really send it through there, make up a lot of time. But if you go too fast through there, you're going to lose a whole heap of time through turn 5 again. So it's really one of those corners where it's almost not best to push it to the max. You just want to head through the corner at 80% because the next one's just as important, if not more important, for your lap time. We're on board now with Kevin Wakefield. Just hits the brakes nicely for turn 1, just missing apex just a little bit. He's going to run it all the way out to the exit curb. I think you can go a little bit wider than that. I do believe the track limits are keeping the right hand side on the red and white curbing. Hits the brakes around about the same spot as you would for a GT car. Big slide, and yeah, that's one of the spots where the rear end is going to get so light down at turn 3. It's turn 2 even. It's downhill. You're gonna have all the weights over the front, and then as you're turning left hand with the weight over the front tires down the hill, the rear of the car becomes so light. SDK not having it.
No, it just wants to show our lovely SRW TV logo in the top right corner, and that's all it wants to show. Usually I can get this up and going in a matter of minutes, if not seconds, but it's after that little hiccup with the internet, it's really not happy. Try a couple other things, because I have no control over anything at the moment without it. Oh Lord. Let's find a car on track and sit on board with them until I can get something sorted here. Matthew Boyd has tuned in and asked, Jamie Christensen, rear of grid. Let me check the race stewards report from last week for you, mate. And that was not. We have one rear of grid. Car number 067 and car number 5 failed to make cooldown laps, so those two cars do have a rear of grid start. Wow. Chichinga. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. At some point I will get it fixed and it will work. Until then, we're just going to ride on board. I can actually share a live timing link so you guys can follow on along at home.
What? A live timing link showing a different race?
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, the SDK live timing showing, I think, V8 bets. I don't know why.
I know why. Hamish is streaming V8 bets. Oh man, that's why everything broke.
Whoa. I don't know what to do now.
I'm going to spam our other producer, of course, really good at what he does until stuff like this happens. Yeah, I am getting...
That would make good sense as to why that broke. The case seems to be closed now.
This is going to be very annoying because I've got no control over anything at the moment. This is really annoying. Hopefully he's like me and will keep socials open. Yeah, well, you got to bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. There's really not much I can do at the moment. I have no control over my SDK.
Has he? Oh no, it's back now. We've got. I can read you the times now. SDK live timing's given us our race back. So, he may have seen your message. Let's refresh the page. Are we still in quali? I can't quite read.
Yeah, I'm going to get there in a second.
We are in quali? Okay. So, as it stands, we have Jed Murray on a 2:02.46. Jamie Christensen's only behind by 0.01 of a second, so 1/100th, with a 2.48. And then behind that again, Joshua Horton with a 0.05. So only 5 100 separating the top 3. So
there it is.
Just a blink's worth of time at the top. As qualifying's running over, not sure why the session hasn't ticked over, but that's fine. We continue to run through the running order. Connor Nixon next in line with a 203.03, and Bruce White just shy over a tenth behind him. Jason Douglas in P6, Dan Batouche in P7, followed by Callan Hodgkinson and Bradley Wall, Dean Sinkovich, Kevin Wakefield, your top. Can't talk. As 10th and 11th, Keegan Caldwell in 12th, Greg Johnson and Stephen Sinkovich brings up the rear in P14. Dylan DeBono did 6 laps, didn't set a valid time. John McHenry didn't do any laps because he starts from the back of the grid every race. So I guess we look to Dylan DeBono. We know he has quite a bit of pace under him, but didn't get a valid lap in, so he'll be starting on the back row there with John McHenry. Look for him to make a charge through as the SDK finally does catch up, and we do have the times up on the screen.
Locked in Toyo Sim qualifying results. Sorry that you all had to miss out on that. The grid is gridding up now as well. We will see Jet O'Murray take the Toyo Sim pole position tonight. We will get on board and we shouldn't have any more broadcast issues this evening. Knock on wood. And that was my head you heard, not the table. Christensen will line up next to Jet O'Murray, Joshua Horton right in behind him, Connor Nixon in P4, Bruce White, Jason Douglas, Dan Batouche, Callan Hodgkinson, Bradley Wall and Dean Sinkovich will round up your top 10. All the rest are exactly as it shows on the timing table. Look at us go.
We got there in the end. At least we got it sorted before the race started.
We'll just be waiting.
Sometimes you just have to improvise. How stressed were you then on a scale from 1 to 10?
Oh, look, I've been doing this 2 years now. I've been in much more stressful situations when I first started learning to broadcast and how to use SDK. There was some like hair pulling moments. So it was at the same moment that when you noticed that it was showing V8 vets, I was like, I know what's happening.
Yeah. As soon as I said it out loud as well, I'm like, who does V8 vets?
Yep. Anyway, as the timer counts down to 2 minutes, the gridding is now finalised. We will be getting get ready, set and go here tonight for the CAMMUS Toyota GR86 Series. And we are off and racing. A lot of smoke off the start there as Jamie Christensen moves over to the side. See how everybody else falls in. That is a bunch of cars, 18 cars, cold tyres. Ladies and gentlemen, coming down to turn 1. Not much movement, everybody taking it pretty simple at the moment. It is a 60-minute race. There is no need to push your way to the front at this moment.
Jamie Christensen there just got a massive launch off the line from P3. Jet Murray just tried to move over as quick as he could to cover it off, but by the time he could get there, Jamie Christensen was already alongside and he just carried the momentum all the way down to turn 1, took the lead of the race, just as great as you like. I'm not sure if it was a slow start from Jet Murray or whether it was a great start from Jamie Christensen or a bit of column A, a bit of column B, but gee.
Oh, there's a car in the wall. Take one guess who that is, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful line, absolute perler of a line in these 86s. For a little Boxster engine, they sound superb. So everybody's just sort of fallen into line at the moment. Connor Nixon making some moves, actually just managed to get around Jet O'Murray, and Connor Nixon is Vermilion Motorsports as well. Jet O'Murray, a lot of movement to try and get back on a line to find an attacking point. Oh, a bit of contact on the back there.
Jet O'Murray maybe just trying to slide back in. Does manage to slide in, but in front of Bruce White. Thought he may have been, Bruce White could get his car up the inside. Was maybe going to get pushed out. He's going to try to hang it around the outside again. He's got Jason Douglas behind. So we got an LMR car every second car here, and Bruce White finds himself in a bit of an LMR sandwich. Bruce White did have the toe, but Connor Nixon just moves across to cover off Jet O'Murray. Doesn't really have anywhere to go. Gonna slide in front. That's gonna be rear contact. But Jet O'Murray was still able to hold on to it. Jason Douglas is now brought in on this, and Dan Batouche behind is really closed up the gap in the meantime. Bruce White is gonna look. No, he just pulled back onto the racing line as there's contact between Jason Douglas, able to hold on to it. Batouche slides through. Hodgkinson now out of nowhere. He's going to hang it around the outside. He's going to have a good run now down to turn 4. And Jason Douglas from that contact has lost out 2 positions, trying to make up 1.
Ward with Sinkovic now. Dean Sinkovic is being pulled into this. Goes deep up the, I was going to say inside the outside. Caught up by Batouche there. I'm really going to enjoy saying that name tonight. I don't know why, but I'm going to. Sinkovic sitting on the back. De Bono's making a move around Caldwell. There has been contact. Caldwell has had to cut the corner there. Possibly will get a slowdown for that.
Yeah, a bit of pushing and shoving there through turn 6, and Dylan De Bono up 5 spots now since the start of the race. He's really on a charge through the back of the pack. We know how quick he can be for Velocity Sim Sport.
Batouche and Douglas. New driver to the league, Jedboy Racing. Looks to have what it takes already to be up there. Douglas has managed to squeeze his way back around him. Christensen is doing what he does best and getting some clean air, and is starting to break the gap from his teammate Josh Horton. Look at that gap.
Yeah, those top cars, you know, only missed out on pole position by 1 100th and 5 100ths respectively for the pair of them, and ever since the start, and Jamie Christensen was able to get that launch off the line, he's really started to stretch his legs and pull away and pull his teammate along with him. So these two definitely, you're not going to see any fighting out of them, at least till near the end of the race. They're going to want to get as much time as they can while they can. This may be, I haven't checked the fuel restriction. We know it's been generally a one-stop race for these guys. But
24%, mate, so it's 19.8 litres.
So, not too much fuel, and maybe a 2-stop race. If we get a safety car, they may be able to restrict it. We see a bit of tyre smoke in the background from turn
Greg
4.
Johnston and Kevin Wakefield there, I think it was, those two having a bit of a battle. Everybody's sort of settling down at the moment. Douglas is still hot on Hodgkinson's rear though. See just how close he is now, really trying to get those positions back. De Bono is now hot on the tail of Bradley Wall. He's actually right next to him. Will get that move locked in. Here's that action replay down the inside. Nice and clean. Wraps it round the outside. And away he goes. So in that time, Douglas has managed to... That's not the right replay, ShiBBy. Douglas has managed to get around Hodgkinson as well. Both breaking at a very similar time there. Douglas gets a really clean line through though. Will keep his nose out of mischief for one more corner. this, man. Look, where's this guy come from? John McHenry, Locked On Racing, up 6 spots. This guy qualifies at rear of grid. He's already up 6 spots. Just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, if he's if he ends up winning the championship, he's definitely gonna do it the hard way. As we see, was that Bradley Ball in the background? Just get a bit of grass and the exit there of turn 3 and go around.
Oh, I don't want to look. It was.
It was. Which rejoin, he's fine. That was very close.
Looks like he's kept himself out of the wall too. No damage, so.
No, it didn't just seem like a bit of a lazy spin, if you will. Just run the right side tires on the grass and
go on, ShiBBy.
just
Let's
slowly
get the
looped it
replay.
around and a lot of speed in here. You see lock up, slide, try to save it, and still just ran wide. And round it goes again. So those tires are going to be red hot right now. That was 2 times those smoked up in the space for about 5 seconds. So see how well he can hold on to those and nurse them back into the operating range.
Mark Cochran's joined in, and he actually says, Dan Batouche races in the TCRs, mate. I play competitive futsal on a Wednesday night, so unfortunately, I don't get to see those broadcasts. And because I broadcast most other nights, I don't really have too much time to watch it. So that's great to know that he's already in the league and he's stretching his legs from the old front-wheel drives to the rear-wheel drives. So good to know, mate. And thanks for dropping into the broadcast tonight. I'm assuming you're out there cheering on Dan. Let us know who you guys out there are cheering on tonight. Don't forget, this is our penultimate round, and you also have a choice to pick the driver of the night, who will get a little treats package thanks to temptingsweets.com.au. Guys, head on over there, check out what they do. Pretty awesome, tasty treats, and use code SRW10 at checkout to get another sweet deal off.
So just almost 10 minutes into the race now, everybody looks like they've started to, the first couple of lap angst out the way, and they've started settling into the groove. You see a few trains start to form up on behind Jason Douglas with Cullen Hodgkinson and Batouche. Then of course, I was going to say the top 2, but it looks like Jamie Christensen has pulled away. Not sure if Horton had a slowdown penalty, but that's brought Jetta Murray only 1.1 back now off Joshua Horton. So he's very close to getting in on that slipstream range. If not, he is already. Other than that, yeah, the Connor Nixon as we're pushing now, and Bruce White. These guys have got a nice little battle going on. As you can see in this background, there's 3 cars. There's
look how close Hodgkinson is on Douglas. Trying to take the outside line to get the, what do you call it? The, lost me. Anyway, you could see what he was trying to do. Get a wider line to have a more of a sharper attack on the exit, to get a straighter line on the exit, which would have brought him more speed out of the exit in most cases, if done correctly. Really
very hard to attack there through turn 12. It's very easy to defend the inside. The only real method of attack there is probably, if you're going to go around the outside, is if you can get alongside and hold that opposing car super narrow, and you can get yourself a nice run around the outside, which will give you the inside for turn 13. But just wasn't able to get his car alongside, hold him narrow and carry that momentum. So from then on, 13 and 14, you're never really going to hang it around the outside. Best to just slot back in.
Jet Murray has closed that gap on Horton. As you said, Christensen has absolutely checked out. He is 4.2 seconds off Horton. So that is crazy. Hodgkinson and Douglas again side by side. Dan Batouche as well. Just sticking onto the back of this battle. Batouche is in a really good spot. He doesn't have to battle too hard. As long as the guys in front of him he will stay right on the back of him. He's got plenty of time. He could play for mistakes, let them two battle, And as soon as one makes a mistake, he's got an easy commitment as long as he stays out of trouble himself.
At the same time, it does seem like he has a bit of pace in hand. He may be just getting a little bit frustrated by these guys ahead, not being able to get decisive about what positions they're going to be in. Jeddah Murray, as we said, was catching Joshua Horton. Here he is on the back of him. Joshua Horton was just hits the apex nicely. Jeddah Murray runs it wide there on the exit of turn 12. They both get it pulled up nicely. Jeddah Murray going to look to the inside. There's really not a lot of gap. And again, just file it back through these last couple of turns. He's going to have a look to the inside again. Really going to force the issue, and this is going to give Joshua Horton now a better run down into turn 1, keeping that outside line and keeping that peak momentum up. Weaving a little bit to break the toe here. Going to make a couple of moves before race control starts to get a little bit cross. But holds the middle line here. Doesn't really defend either side. I like the defensive approach there. Really gives you a lot of flexibility, and Jeddah Murray's got a great run though around turn 1, slingshot around, and is going to take the lead down into turn 2. So that defensive line there from Joshua Horton just didn't quite pay off. He's going to have a look down the inside though at turn 2. Caught him by surprise a little bit, Jeddah Murray. Jeddah Murray's going to have a look to the inside of 3. There's space given just enough. They door bang on exit a little bit. Vying for position here. Jeddah Murray's going to look to sweep around the outside of 4. Can be very hard move to pull off. No, just concedes and slots back in for the entry into 5. And yeah, there's not too much you can really do unless you alongside through here. Next shot's going to be into the chicane of 6 and 7. Does show the nose for a half second as that's... I'm not sure who that's
Keegan
off.
Caldwell. That's a
Keegan
lapped
Caldwell
car.
off in the roll. That looks all sorts of backwards and smoke, so I'm not sure if that's broken or not. We may see a safety car.
Says he's back on track, so we will have a double check of that. See what's happened there. Give Keegan some airtime.
I suspect curbs to play. Yeah.
Yep. And okay, so he's done all right. No, there should be no damage, and Jeddah Murray's just got around Horton. They're battling. No, Horton's back in front again.
So as I said, can you go around the outside, bit of pushing and shoving through turn 13 there. As we reverse rolls here, bit of door banging again. This is going to give Jeddah Murray a great run out of turn 14. No, but Joshua Horton with that door bang was able to carry with a bit more momentum. Just seemed to stifle the momentum there of Jeddah Murray. Jeddah Murray's going to look to take the racing line. Very, very defensive from Horton. He moves back himself, just seeing that Jeddah Murray's a bit too far back. Good under brakes there, as always, from Mr. Murray. And then down through turn 1, down the hill to turn 2. Could see a roll reverse again this time. He's nice and close enough. No, Joshua Horton doesn't want a taste of his own medicine. Defends the line, but moves back again. All the while, this has brought Connor Nixon and Bruce White behind. Right into the play. Jeddah Murray, big slide on the exit of turn 2 there. Keeps it on track, but that's going to hamper his line through turn 3. One's right. He's very, very squiggly. Connor Nixon sensing the opportunity. He's going to look to the outside of 4. Is he going to get it done? They just enough space given. Door bang on exit. Doesn't get run wide. He's going to have the inside for 5. Keeps Murray very, very wide. This is going to feed Bruce White through. So that one little mistake from Jeddah Murray may cost him 2 positions. No, Bruce White's just going to concede the position, file back in, single file through the chicane. As Jeddah Murray's going to try to go around the outside of 8. No, around the outside of 9. No, again.
Oh, that's just big contact. He's just tried to push his way through. What?
All the while, Bruce White is now alongside with Jeddah Murray and manages to get through. So it was all happening then.
Great close racing, that's for sure. I'm sure there's going to be a few things that race control are going to want to have a look at there. As we see in the background, Nixon and Douglas now. Nixon definitely just lost out on 2 spots there. Unfortunate. These 86s do not disappoint.
All the while, this has given Joshua Horton the breathing room he so desired. Up to 3 seconds the gap now from Jedi Murray through all that battling. And even still, Jamie Christensen, the real beneficiary of all of this battling, up to 9 seconds the gap now to the lead. So he can go into conservation mode, maybe save some fuel if he needs to. We saw him run out of fuel at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Same fuel restriction applies for the Hungaroring this round, so maybe he may look to learn from those mistakes of past and save the fuel where he can, try to stretch it out. We saw Jedi Murray go a few laps extra with the fuel saving at Gilles Villeneuve and really pay dividends for him in the race. He was able to push right to the end. Jamie Christensen wasn't able to save the fuel that he needed. Did serve a rear of grid penalty last race as Douglas looks to the inside of White, pushes him offline, bit of door banging, rubbing his racing, as they say. Connor Nixon now behind with nowhere to go. They're going to go 3 wide into the chicane. They looked for it. Jason Douglas doesn't allow it. He's going to have the inside as they both cut the chicane. They should both get slowdowns for this one. Connor Nixon's going to end up getting both positions after they both serve it. Hopefully they can manage to serve it in a safe manner. Bruce White still defends his position. I would assume that was an off track with a slowdown penalty. Callan Hodginson's going to look to the inside. Doesn't have enough run for it, but he's going to have a good run now down into turn 12. These cars are all stacked up in a 4 stack. Jason Douglas down the inside. Sorry, that was Connor Nixon even on Bruce White. Jason Douglas out front has checked out a little bit. Bruce White has a look back. No, and there's a bit of contact and around goes. Was that Connor Nixon? It was Connor Nixon that went around there. So maybe a bit of rear contact. Just has to watch the rejoin. Didn't quite catch what happened then as the camera was changing angles. Bruce White just looked to the inside. No, he just took too much speed in. Yep. Asked too much of the tyres and just came around on his own.
Just a quick look at that first spin from Nixon. Oh, I thought he spun at that contact and dropped a few positions, but definitely didn't. All right, so the pit stops have begun.
Yeah, so Dean, Kevin, John and Greg all into the pits this lap. Few just exiting the pits now. Dean and John on their way out. 13 seconds stop for John McHenry. Same for Dean, 2/10 slower. And a 12.5 for Kevin Wakefield. So good stop there. Managed to pick up half a second delta time. Greg Johnson, bit of a in-between stop, 12.9 on the pit stop there. So we see those guys further down the grid start to start to work it through. The guys at the front maybe we're able to save a bit of fuel, stretch it an extra lap if they can. Definitely want to. So 20-minute mark, we're definitely looking at a 2-stop race this time round. If you can make it to the 20, then you'll make it to the end. These guys out front, it's a bit more flexibility of where they're going to box for stop number 2. Jamie Christensen heads into the pit, so that's a good stint for Jamie Christensen then at the 20-minute mark of the race. Should be boxing again around the 40-minute mark. If you can save an extra lap, it might give him a bit of flexibility, but anything less than the optimal stop for Jamie Christensen would be unideal. Because, yeah, the top 4, top 5, top 6 all into the pits. Assume those who didn't pit are going to come in this lap.
You think that this is definitely a 2-stopper. So by 40 minutes,
100% a 2-stop race. Yeah, 100% a 2-stop race. Unless there's like 2 safety cars, then you can stretch it out.
Which lucky,
but otherwise,
Hungaroring's not too bad, especially in the 86. There's plenty of runoff before walls in most spaces. So, and as we've seen, most of it at the moment is self spins, and they've managed to catch themselves before any of the walls appear.
Yeah, well, we've seen it for all the FIA Grade 1 circuits that we've had on the calendar this year, that the safety cars are quite limited. Jedi Murray comes down. It's not going to make the undercut on Douglas. but does slot in right behind in front of Reese White. Jason Douglas is coming out of pits now on the colder tyres. He did make up a few positions there, though. Jetta Murray a 12.3 pit stop, so that was the quickest of the bunch, quickest stop of the race. Jamie Christensen a 14.5, may have missed the box slightly on pit end as he was pitting. Joshua Horton a 13.8 pit stop time. Again, maybe just missed his box, but that was a blistering stop from Jetta Murray, and he's right back on the safety car. I did not see...
okay.
I did not see...
I've just spotted what's happened. That's why pit stops came flying in. So it does look like a car has actually hit the wall pretty good and has had to call to the pits. Anybody want to replay that and want to take a guess who it was?
It could be... I mean, there's two cars out right now. There's Stephen and Bono. Bono's out of the race. Not sure what's happened there, but it could... Was it Stephen that was in the immense sadness?
Ryan Price says Sinky in the chat.
Yeah, there it is. Gee, that's broken and in a weird spot of the track for that to break. I wonder what's happened here.
Find out what happened. So it hasn't... It's not allowing me to see the crash. It's just showing me parked on the side of the road. We're going to do a bit of...
Parked there a while then, so...
Yeah, I'm just trying to pinpoint where this could be it. Bear with us. This could be it. He didn't land on his roof this week, Ryan. There it is, right, high speed.
Oh, that's a massive impact. Yeah, geez, that's just got on the green rumble, and it looks to have upset it and really turn 4 curb, got the balance kind of wobbly, and then as he's hit the rumble, he dropped the rears off the rear of the curb, which would have upset the balance even more. And at this speed, there's really not a lot you can do, but it's a massive impact.
Let go of the steering wheel and hold on.
Was lucky not to come into the path of Greg Johnson. He had to take evasive action to the grass there. So lucky not to see him in the fence. There's a lot of tarmac on the outside of turn 5. So that's lucky for him that there's no grass. If that was grassed track there, he may have also been in the fence with the evasive action. So good to see Greg Johnson still out and running. He's in the pits right now. However, I hope that's not to repair damage. He's coming out, so 5-second stop. That would be to take his fast repair. He may have been in the wall after that. Not totally sure what happened. Daniel Schultz, a 7-second stop. In the pits again, Daniel Schultz, I'm not sure. So I suspect for those cars, so I do the same thing. If I'm sitting in the safety car train and I'm at the back of the grid, no point for me not to come into the pits every single lap. Just top it up. Do a lap, come in, top it up. If I'm just going to be on the back of the safety car queue anyway, might as well carry more fuel. So I suspect that's what those two are doing, just giving themselves a bit more strategy advantage, try to stretch it out to the end if they can. It'll make life a whole lot easier.
Definitely will. As we say, huge shout out to the promo department, one of our longest serving sponsors here for our promo department, Safety Car. And a massive shout out to the most loveless job here on Sim Racing World is, of course, our race stewards. Big shout out to Tyson McAvoy tonight out there in our BMW safety car. A huge shout out to everybody who's joined us here for the broadcast again tonight. As always, if you want to show your support to all the drivers out there and help us keep running these awesome broadcasts and series, all you got to do is hit that like button and, maybe share it with some friends and family. If you want to go check out what series we have to offer you, head on over to www.simracingworld.com.au, register as a driver, absolutely free. And then head on over to our Discord, jump in the lounge rooms and have a chat with some of our drivers at the moment. If you have a look up, Ryan, see how packed Lounge 1 is at the moment with all the 86 drivers in there.
I don't even got the SRW Discord open. But I've hovered over it and I'm just seeing like +6 on the on the call. So
there's 9 lads in this race, all hanging out in the same Discord together. All right, Tyson is back in the pit lane. Caution flag is away. It is all in the hand of Jamie Christensen, and it's hard to tell when these take off because they don't make too much noise, but he is actually holding them up right to the line.
Yeah, very wise play for Jamie Christensen. He's maybe left it a little bit late. The later you leave it, the more predictable it's going to be when you're going to go. This train's very, very close. Joshua Horton right on the rear gearbox of Jamie Christensen. Not going to look to fight it too much. He's got to watch the inside, though. Jason Douglas comes storming down the inside. Lucky not to make contact with Jamie Christensen, but was able to pick up the position on Joshua Horton. Wow, that was very, very close. Some rear contact there for Jamie Christensen as they're 3 abreast coming down into turn 2. This will be good for Christensen to be able to check out a little bit, but may check up the pack. There was a big slide in the back from Jetta Murray, was able to catch it all over the curb for Jason Douglas. On the back now is Joshua Horton right under the gearbox. Again, this isn't a team car, so he was definitely going to fight this one instead of pushing it through. All sorts of curb for Douglas. In the back, we look Callum Hodgkinson look to go around the outside. He's not going to get it done, but he's going to have a good line on the exit of the corner. Bit of rear contact again for Cullen and Jets as they run side by side into the chicane now. There's going to be no love lost here after the contact. Jetta Murray is going to have to concede the position. Callum Hodgkinson is not going to have any room to go past, but Bruce White's going to go past into P4. We saw these two make contact earlier. Jetta Murray's going to look to the inside, all going on. They run all the way out. It's very tight again. Callum Hodgkinson with nowhere to go, but this time he can keep Bruce White on the outside. He's going to box him in. Bruce White is going to maintain the momentum around the outside down into turn 12. This is very, very tight racing. Colin Hodgkinson, yeah, just as we look ahead, Jason Douglas and Joshua Horton again side by side, door banging. Just they shoved off his line a bit there. Jason Douglas, Jetta Murray is going to come into the action. These guys are teammates, but they certainly, as Jet O'Murray jumps into the pit lane, so maybe a bit of damage from all that battling there. Could have suffered some steering damage. I can only imagine that's the reason he's jumped into the pits, as that's another LMR car behind as well. Just jumped in the pits. Well. So what's happening here is they may not be able to make it to the end on one stop. They may be fueling up now to get themselves into the clean air and continue and push through. The only issue is Jetta Murray has come out right at the back of the pack. That was Connor. Jet is in the wall. He was in the wall of the pits. You can see his wing just hanging out there. His car is in the wall of the pits. What has happened there?
So it looks like Connor might have actually been serving a drive-through, to be honest, because he went straight through the pits.
Unsafe release. Maybe we can get a look at that in a moment, but we just look down to an absolute bombardment of smoke on the exit of turn 2 into turn 3. This is Daniel Schultz having a look at Callum Hodgkinson. Isn't really anywhere to go, isn't anywhere near close enough. Lots back in. Is it going to open up the line for turn 5 on the brakes nicely? Gets it hooked up. Rear comes out a little bit and is all over the curb and grass. His front tyres just a bit more than the rears did there, and lost a bit of time because of it. Callum Hodgkinson 1.4 ahead now, so the tow has gone and the Daniel Schultz can pull together a good sector 2 and get back on the back of Hodgkinson. He's going to lose out all the way down the mini straight after this sector.
I need to know what happened. There was definitely 2 drive-throughs handed out.
So it may have been a drive-through. We saw Jetta Murray earlier in the race turn. I can't remember who that was around, but could be he was serving it then. Got to serve the drive-throughs under green flag conditions. Weird to see Jetta Murray in the pit lane wall, though. Not sure what's happened. He has disconnected from the session, I believe. So we see Jason Douglas now coming to the pits, so a few penalties starting to come through now. Yep, another drive through. No, he's going to pull into the box. Is this a scheduled stop? He's up on the jack, so hard to say. Maybe forgot to turn tyres off. The NTs has disconnected from the session, so unsure what's going on there.
Well, they definitely got their broadcast time this week. They've been all over it. Sponsors galore. So of all the cars, actually, this has been non-stop from start to finish. As Ryan Price in the chat says that what great battles. Looks a fun track to race on. Mate, it's been non-stop. Everybody's like sponsors are just plastered all over this race.
They're plastered all over each other's cars. The way these guys have been door banging each other. They've been sharing a little bit, that's for sure.
Jet, we've let you know, mate, that any questions about disqualifications or race stewards to go to race stewards. Please do not come to the broadcast. We can't answer your questions. We are here to commentate on a live race. I do not have Tyson in my ear telling me what's going on.
I wish I had Tyson in my ear.
Oh, mate, that sounds delicious.
I know. I wish. But as we look ahead, John McHenry up 12 spots now, and he is now, as we were saying pre-race, in the safe zone. So if the race were to finish this lap, he will finish just ahead of Jamie Christensen, albeit only by about 2 to 4 points. If I can't quite remember the exact season standings, I will grab it. If I'm quick with my mouse, that's the steward's report. That's not going to do it for me. So he will be ahead by 1 point.
Oh my gosh.
So if the race, so 5th position, he'll be ahead by 1 point. 4th, 6th, 3rd, 11, and so on. So at this stage, he will still be P1 in the championship, but just.
That's crazy. As we see here, Daniel Schultz and Connor Nixon going for it again. It looks like Daniel Schultz has fully come to the dark side and joined Team SRW Motorsports, even though it does still say After Dark Sim Racing. Good to see Schultzy out there in the SRW liveries. Our little motorsports team is growing as Wakefield. Oh my gosh.
Gee, it was a bit of a half-hearted look there for Wakefield. He looked like he went to go for it, and then as he got on the anchors, was like,
bit of hesitation.
I don't know if I'm going to pull this one up. And Daniel Schultz, because of it, reacted accordingly and both slowed both cars down. Wow, as Schultz completely spears off and into the wall. That car could very, very well be broken. We'll see if he can get it back to pits. That front end is somehow
not
completely.
good.
That's all sorts of snapped steering rack.
That front right wheel is not going to get him anywhere. You can see on this straight shot that it is severely bent to the right.
So we'll see if he can get it back to pits. It's going to be a struggle, but he is on his way. Not going to want to turn left, or it's not going to turn either way very well.
It'd be good if he can get back to the pits.
It looks like he will if he is on the track on his own, so he's not really going to impede anybody.
Keep it.
Because you can see him just dancing the steering wheel. He's off again into the wall. That could be curtains.
I've started calling these the China, like you find China. They're just so soft. Very easy to break things down. This is
parked it up here, so this will be a safety car incoming.
It definitely is. Oh, Christensen's probably definitely not going to want that, as he is checked out again. 6.3 seconds in front of Bruce White. Jason Douglas has just dropped into the chat and said, "Hey guys, how you doing, Jason? Unfortunate for your race, mate. We did see you pull into the pits and then check out, mate. So you were having a phenomenal drive tonight, though. Thanks for joining the broadcast." But I do believe, as we check out Mr. Jamie Christensen. Ah, you hit your incident limit, mate. All that door banging.
General Schultz is still running, though. He is gonna make it. No, he's not. He's still sitting there. I'm surprised to see.
Still be waiting for clearance.
Not pulled out the pit lane yet. Not sure if it's been called in or not, but that car is most certainly
Pending-
parked up and
Depending on where the cars are on track, safety car may have waited for the right time to exit pit so he catches P1.
yeah, as Tyson McAvoy's exiting the pits now. So yeah, as I see Keegan Caldwell and Steven Sikovic pile into the pits, I was thinking that would be a call, as Tyson's just pulled to the end of pit lane. He's going to pick up the leader. Jamie Christensen has come into the pits as well. All cars again will be into the pits with a full tank of fuel. These guys will be able to get to the end of the race, especially if they save even more under the safety car running.
Yes. So Ryan, you can't see YouTube chat because you're over on Facebook, but Jason has let us know that he hit his instant point. Oh, he's going to give Fritzy a... Wait, is that Fritz? Whose car is that? That's all beat up. Oh, it's Sinkovich. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, so Jason has chimed in on YouTube, Ryan, to say that he hit his instant point limit and he also broke something on his car. So really unfortunate. He was having a cracker of a drive. Looked like some phenomenal battles out there. I'm sure all of you out there watching tonight have thoroughly enjoyed the battles like myself and Ryan here. If you have, go right ahead. Hit that like button.
I thought you were
talking
talking to me.
No.
I thought you were saying I can't see YouTube chat.
Remember when I wrote down that Ryan Price was commentating with me that night? Yeah, that's because I was talking to Ryan Price before I commentated with Ryan Green. So.
You were like, Ryan, you can't see YouTube chat. I'm like...
Can you?
Yes, I can. Yes,
yeah,
I
you
can.
Yeah. I might have to get you hooked up with Restream as well, because you'll be able to see all the chat. So across all platforms.
It's got Restream in the YouTube chat.
Oh, good. Great. It works.
Yeah, it does work.
Yeah, I did something correct. That'll be a first in 2 years.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know, mate. I'm phenomenal at my job. But yeah, this has been a cracker. This is the penultimate round too. There is so many places up for grabs tonight that's really going to make a big difference as they move on into the championship round next week. So, mate, I am absolutely pumped. Let's give them a quick rundown of where we are next week and what we should be able to expect. So, I do believe we are running Spa Classic Pits.
Yeah, we are at Spa next week.
Mate, Spa is a phenomenal track as it is. And I think once we get all these lads out there, if they race like they do tonight, it is going to be one heck of a 7 kilometre per lap. I think Draft is going to play a big... what's the word? Quick, Ryan. Quick, what's the word?
Dividends?
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll take that word.
Dividends?
Yeah, especially during the long straight on Spa. That's going to be the big killer, I think, in the 86s. I think once someone breaks that draft, they're just going to pull away from the pack. So, it's, mate, the longest track of the season with 7 kilometre laps. So,
I was doing some officials, the GR86. I think it was just the specs. I don't think it was SimLab. It was just the GR86 15-minute races around Spa. I think it was this season they were running it. And it was impossible to break the toe. Even if the car behind made a mistake and you were picturesque perfect, it was just borderline impossible to break the toe. Biggest spot is the lead car. If you don't have a draft heading up a Rouge through Radion, you just get all your momentum killed. But the car behind, they got their hole punched in the air. Just seems like they get a 2 times speed boost. The draft is like extra prominent through there, and then through down to Camel, it's the overspeed you can get down into the chicane at the end is it's quite intense, and the braking marker moves around a lot if you're in the draft as well. So see quite a people get on the anchors too late, too early. You can go on 3 wide, 2 wide through there, and then obviously got all the way down through No Name and Puon. It's all downhill there as well. Pretty much the whole track, such high speed in these cars, even through Puon, it being a 4th gear corner, That's just get a massive draft all the way through there, and then you got the back straight as well down to the bus stop chicane. There's going to be a lot of draft, a lot of bump drafting, a lot of overtaking. Blanchemont's going to be a big corner. We see. Hopefully, we don't see too many incidents from cars running side by side through there. It's very hard to run side by side in GT3 through there. These cars, get a lot of wash oversteers, wash understeer even as well. So it's a good track. It's about a 3-minute 10 lap time, dare I say. So
3 minutes, yeah, 3 minutes, yeah, for sure.
About 3-minute 10 lap time, dare I say? I believe it's 3-minute 10.
Look, mate, you'd have a better idea than me. So we'll go with it's about 3 minutes to 3 minutes 15.
No.
Ben Faulkner drops in to say, let's go Vermilion Motorsports, P1, P2. That is the standings at the moment, mate. It is Christensen and Horton in P1 and P2, and the other Vermilion Motorsports driver, Connor Nixon, is down in P8. Has had a bit of a race, did get involved with a few battles out there, and just a few bumps here and there has sort of got him in a bit of a sticky situation, back down to 8th, 4 places off his qualifying. I just want to show this man again, because he's just like the silent assassin. Started rear of grid, and he does this every bloody week, and then out of nowhere he's up 13 spots and into P4. All right, Tyson, thank you for being our safety car. He is away, and the guys... Oh, wow. Okay, Jamie Christensen just pushed it. Gone.
Early jump, yeah, just didn't wait for the line this time. Learned from his mistake of last, where Joshua Horton was right under the rear gearbox of him and got a great launch out of turn 14. Down into turn 1, he's going to carry a 8/10th gap down into turn 1. Bruce White in the background. This is on board. Isn't going to have a look into turn 1. John McHenry just takes a wide line just in case there was a bit of overspeed. Cold tyres, cold brakes, heading down into turn 1. Bradley Ball behind. Good recovery drive now after that incident, back up into P6. Going to have a bit of pace under him. Hopefully doesn't make the same mistake he did earlier. Almost runs out to the second curb.
You did it, commentator's curse, Ryan. Don't do it.
Not quite. He managed to push through the commentator's curse this time. A bit of tyre smoke ahead, maybe a lock up ahead. It looked like driving through it didn't come from the car, it looks like.
I think it might have been McHenry or Batouche.
Could have been Batouche. John McHenry, 7/10 now.
Around. Did Horton
back.
just spin then? Did I just... No,
I don't believe so. Horton still trucking along, but yeah, Jamie Christensen again, just such a master on these cold tyres early on. These first few laps, he's just seems to speak to the tyres and the net code more than anybody else.
Nixon.
You see, they're 2x2 behind. Nixon on the inside of wall, all over the curb, just gets a bit uneasy. This is going to give Callum Hodgkinson a great run down into turn 13. Going to look to the inside. Isn't going to get it up alongside enough. It's going to check him up a bit though. Greg Johnson behind. Did look like he was going to have a bit of a run. Doesn't now. Callum Hodgkinson just easing off, trying to focus on the exit line. Grabs a bit of the inside curb. Could unsettle a bit as he grabs the power. Bruce White and John McHenry again. Bruce White is going to pull alongside into the braking zone. He's going to have all of the track to use. John McHenry's going to have to defend the hard way. Very, very deep on the brakes. Bruce White locks up a little bit, but manages to keep it steady. And does get the position. John McHenry looks a bit too far back to re-go for P3. They're going for. Wanted to say 4, but well, no, it is P4.
It is the battle for P4, correct?
No, it is the battle for P4.
Yeah, Bruce White is in P4. Still got 15 minutes to go, so McHenry, fuel-saving master as we see Callan. Look at this line. Wall, Hodgkinson, Johnston. all in a three-way battle. That's also bringing Sinkovic right onto the back of him. But yeah, I'd say if McHenry lost that spot, there could be reasoning that he wants to sit in behind and save a bit of extra fuel. So being the last lap or two, he knows he can push it a bit harder. He has spoken to us about similar tactics that he uses through his racing over this season.
With that latest safety car, they should all absolutely be okay on fuel to the end. Yeah, there shouldn't be any fuel saving going on from anybody right throughout. It'll be maximum attack right to the end. Then Sinkovic looking to the back of Greg Johnson. We're on board with Kevin Wakefield now with a 3/10 gap. Dean maybe going to have a look. No, but Kevin Wakefield's very late on the anchors. He knows so and just tries to get it pulled up, trying to make contact with anybody else. Maybe just carrying a little bit of overspeed into the braking zone. Was in a double toe there. So maybe not able to judge just how fast he was going. He can be deceptive when the car ahead is also in the toe. Doesn't seem like you're going as fast. That's seen Sinkovic into the pits now. So would be instant limit drive through for that one there would be my guess. Didn't see him run wide on the exit turn 11, but I also wasn't really paying that much attention. But this could very well be the case of an instant limit drive through, and it does seem so.
Yep.
Not into his pit box, so
seems to be a lot of those tonight. The instant limits have definitely been pushed to the limits tonight. It's been a phenomenal drive with only 10 minutes left to go. Jamie Christensen for Vermilion Motorsports with a astounding lead. Jamie and Joshua both have driven extremely well tonight. A lot of battles up and down the field, and they've stretched the gap now to 4.3 seconds on Dan Batouche, who is in third place with 0.6 of a second back to Bruce White, and then another second back to John McHenry. So John's actually dropped off a lot. Bruce might just be on the pace. Bruce did a 2:02. Yeah, right. So last laps, Bruce was a second faster around the track.
And looking ahead as well, Joshua Horton half a second faster with Jamie Christensen is now 3/10 off the back of him for the lead. These two not afraid to race each other, as well as we see alongside team cars. They will work together for the majority of the race, but when it comes down to crunch time and they've got the gap that they do, they're definitely not afraid to battle each other. Of course, they're always going to be fair, good mates and great teammates. Never really going to see too many incidents between the two. Callum Hodgkinson, big punch there, just late on the brakes, tried to avoid, but wasn't able to. That's Bradley Wall again in another incident, I believe it was.
I told you. See, you did it.
So it was another incident for Callum Hodgkinson, where he was just carrying a little bit of overspeed, just missed his braking marker, and could have been a bit of netcode contact, but was still very, very late on the brakes regardless. Completely missed the braking zone and sent the car around. So this will be a sizable slap on the wrist coming for Callan. Does look like it's probably going to be a bit of netcode, just pulled in and then out again. No, that's solid rear end contact. That is absolute clear contact.
Poor Brad. He was having such a good drive, and a couple of little incidents always seem to put you out of the race. Hodgkinson is now up against Johnston, and they're catching the back of McHenry. Actually, they're not. They're 6 seconds off, but McHenry is now slotted in behind Connor Nixon. So Connor Nixon's actually managed to get around McHenry as well during all that replaying of that instant.
John McHenry just seems to have slid off the pace a bit at 204.45 last lap versus Connor Nixon's 3 flat. So just struggling a bit. I did see him run wide, very wide at turn 5, and had to take a very slow line around there. That would definitely be reason to the lap time, but as it stands now, John McHenry will not maintain championship lead in P6. He'll be 4 points behind Jamie Christensen heading into the final round. So if he wants to maintain the lead heading into the final round of the season, he's going to need to pick up a position from Connor Nixon. But of course, the more the merrier. We look Callum Hodgkinson again. Hopefully you can hit his braking zone now down into turn 12. Gets it nicely this time. Greg Johnson just concedes the position a little bit, but is going to have a look to the inside of 13. Shows the nose a little bit, but a little bit of wobble oversteer. Callum Hodgkinson still leaves the space regardless, just in case of a late move, and is going to kick a position. That's a slow car around in the background. That's Keegan Caldwell. Was maybe just came around. Bradley Ball picks up the position because of it. So into the pits comes Keegan Caldwell. Unscheduled stop. Was he in the pits earlier? Drive-through penalty for car 28. Contact with car 22. So that's Callum Hodgkinson is going to be slapped with a drive-through for that contact we saw only a few laps ago. Car 6 just got really slow. Bruce White has just lost a couple of positions. He may have been around into the wall, and there's a lot of smoke as we see now down on the exit of turn 2. He's just parked up there, so not sure what's happened to Bruce White. He's definitely come around. I was just going to say there was a nice battle, and he's ran completely wide and then into the wall. They're yet to invent soft metal walls, so that's going to be quite the hurt front end of that Toyota.
Might be able to get it back on track, though.
Think you'll be able to get it running again, but you'll most certainly have a
sounding
snap steering
good.
arm. Yeah, it's definitely has some sadness about it. We'll see if you can get it back to the pit lane.
Christensen and Horton having a bit of a play with each other there as Horton takes the lead.
That is great news for John McHenry. If this finishes as is with John McHenry in P5, Jamie Christensen P2, that would mean John McHenry carries a 6-point lead into the final round. If Jamie Christensen can get back that final position, it'll be a 1-point lead, but if John McHenry can sit where he is, he will still maintain a lead, just a matter of how much as it stands. Jamie Christensen is gonna, as you said, have a little bit of play around with his teammate Joshua Horton. Definitely not gonna let him have it the easy way. These two, although teammates, are still prone to getting their elbows out and sparring a little bit, so to speak. Car 28 makes pit transit. That's Callum Hodgkinson serving that drive-through. Should slot out right in the path of Bradley Wall. No, he's just going to be a little bit behind, heading down into turn 1. No, he's not. They're right alongside, so that's very, very close between those guys. Yeah, only 0.2 of gap. Callum Hodgkinson was able to hold on to it, and Bruce White as well served that, or got his car fixed up, so he slotted out into P11.
Sorry, mate. I'm just constantly watching our chats out there, guys. We don't mind a bit of team banter, but please keep name calling or responding to other people like children to a minimal. Feel free to discuss your last races. I have no issue with that. So we are into the last 4 minutes of this race. Jamie Christensen leading the pack. Joshua Horton leading the pack. Jamie Christensen P2. Dan Batouche. I freaking love that name, man. I'm really, really enjoying saying that. It
reminds me of UFC fighter Beneil Dariush. Every time I say it, it just sounds so similar.
Jason Douglas dropped in again. What you doing, Bruce? Eyes forward. Mate, you can come back. Bruce is down in 11th, mate. I don't know if that's... he can do it, mate. He can do it. Love to see the support out there for him, though. I don't know who that UFC fighter is, mate. I watch Not UFC, clearly. Oh my gosh, Kevin Wakefield and Mr. Greg Johnson wearing teal for Tourette's again. I'm pretty sure he's wearing it all season. It is going to be close for the championship points, Ben. As it sits at the moment, John McHenry will be holding his P1 position. Up 12 spots again, though. Man, this guy just appears out of nowhere. The Connor Nixon guy must have a cramped right foot push. Yeah, man, he's been up and down all night, Mr. the Notorious Stig. Up and down all night. He actually was in P13 at one place. Has actually managed to climb himself back up into where he qualified, which is P4. It's been a great drive for him. It's been absolutely great to see him back out here on SRW TV as well. Kevin Wakefield and Greg Johnson are your closest battle at the moment.
It's 024 car around of the streams.
Which?
It was dead see, which seems, yeah, the stream slightly died there, so had to consult the old SDK live timing.
He's got 0.6 of a second, 0.5 of a second to get around Dan in about a lap and a half, guys. If you want to see a Vermilion Motorsports lockout 1, 2, 3, Nixon needs to make this overtake happen soon.
No, but Dan Bartouche definitely not going to give up without a fight. Should be 2 laps left in this one, including the one we're on. So this will be the penultimate lap of the race. And they're just as shy over 2-minute lap time around here. So there's only 1 minute left. It's going to be close.
Oh, Bartouche's got a little wobbly and there's a car around. Joshua Horton's around. That's allowed Connor a bit of a run.
So you've jinxed the 1, 2, 3 there. That's not going to happen anymore, as that car is all sorts of broken. We saw its front bumper lying on the ground, but back to the battle at hand.
Oh, we're going to get a quick replay.
Have a look. We'll have a quick replay to have a look what happened. White flag. This lap says race control. Wasn't sure it was going to be close to the line.
Oh,
yeah, as we saw what happened with like Steven earlier. Yeah, just carried a lot of speed and got on the rumble strips, upsets the balance of the car, and around it goes. So he'll try to nurse this one home as quick as he can. Try to not lose out as much. He's still ahead of John McHenry. He's 4 seconds behind, so that car's gonna suffer a bit of money. That was Connor Nixon's really last chance to have a look at Dan Bartouche. This is the white flag lap, as there's only a couple seconds left on the clock. Jeremy Christensen is gonna be your round 7 winner of SRW's round 8 winner of SRW's CAMMUS GR86 Series. So as Dan Bartouche crosses the line in P2, followed closely by Connor Nixon in P3. Joshua Horton does hold on just to P4 after that massive incident. John McHenry comes across the line in P5. So that is the gap. Heading down into the final race of the season is 1 point the difference between John McHenry and Jamie Christensen.
I was like, how did Horton keep the car going? He's struggling. I'm looking at the way the wheels are pointing, and I'm so surprised he's still got that on track. Like, how is that possible that thing is driving? Look how broken that front left wheel is. And it doesn't even look like it's affecting the car at all.
So that's pretty unhappy.
Look at it. How has he got that thing still on track? That is crazy. What a great drive. Jamie Christensen, Dan Bartouche and Connor Nixon are your podium this evening for our CAMMUS Toyota GR86 Series. This is round 8, the penultimate round, thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. And thanks to you guys out there, I just got a little achievement saying that we hit 100 messages. That's all you guys in live chat tonight. So thank you so much for your support.
Any pick for driver of the day?
I'm going McHenry.
Oh, you can't just keep picking.
Well, he's the silent assassin. He comes out of nowhere. He's up. Look, honestly, I'd love to give it to Greggy Johnson. Up 7 spots, kept it clean all race. Was involved with a good bunch of races tonight. As him and McHenry have a little bit of fun on the cool down lap. Maybe they're tussling over who's going to get driver of the day. But yeah, look. Love to give it. I'm going to go Mr. Johnson. Kept it clean all night. Was involved with some great battles and managed to get himself up there in a 6th place. So definitely keen.
Maybe a bit of a conspiracy theorist here, but John McHenry may be starting from the back every race just to farm the tempting sweets, package. He's really got a bit of a sweet tooth. This guy is just. Gives himself the best chance of picking up driver of the day. You got to respect the hustle.
Definitely. Quality driving. And I think it's just to test himself as well, so it's probably something good for all quicker drivers to do instead of starting on pole is, try and give starting from the pits a go once in a while and battle your way through 17 cars to still end up in the top 5, so great drive by all of our drivers tonight, man. What a race. That is hands down, I am marking that as my favourite race of the season. This is up there with the finale of last season at Bathurst. This is right up there.
To me, Sebring is still one of the better ones we had. It's definitely up there with that one so far. Sebring was, right down to the wire. Such a great race.
Finally, some guys actually have worked out how to get these damn things to burn out. Sort of. They don't have the torque. They just don't have the torque. But I'll give someone a free Twitch sub to my Twitch channel. You can check me out at T1AO ShiBBy on Twitch. I'll give a free sub if someone can line lock an 86. A non-modified one, straight out of iRacing. Alright, our results are locked in. Huge shout out tonight, of course, to CAMMUS, Warren & Brown Tools and Toyo Sim for coming on board for our qualifying session. And as always, a massive shout out to all of you who have joined the broadcast tonight. We do thoroughly appreciate all your support week in and week out. So there it is, Jamie Christensen for Vermilion Motorsports, Dan Batouche for Jetty Boy Racing, Connor Nixon for Vermilion Motorsports. Joshua Horton did manage to lock himself in a 4th place finish. Even with that, spit out John McHenry for Locked On Racing in 5th. Greg Johnson for Red Energy Racing, Team Greg Racing in 6th. Kevin Wakefield, Callan Hodgkinson, Bruce White and Keegan Caldwell will be your top 10 tonight. We'll be waiting for our podium to head on down to the green room. They're actually already there, mate, so we can get the podium interviews underway. Starting with P3 tonight. Where is that, man? Mr. Connor Nixon.
What's going on?
Hey, mate, good to see you back.
Yeah, thought a bit of fun wouldn't be too bad, I guess.
Mate, was it a bit of fun?
Oh, besides a few people just being, certain words, good fun. I thought I'd jump in with the lads. I haven't done this for a while, so good fun.
Yeah, mate, you too busy being a friggin' pro over there in the New Zealand V8 Supercars League, are you?
To a point, winning the championship for that one, so yeah.
Oh, you've made it up into P1. I thought Mr. Brucey Tannick was up in P1.
Nah, man, I've been leading it for the last 6 rounds, actually. So, just trying to keep Shane Van Gisbergen behind me now.
Yeah, I must have looked at an old updated tape because at one point it was Bruce Tannock in front of you, then it was you, and then Mr. SVG behind you. So, but bloody good drive, mate. It's great to see you back over here on SRW. Good to see the whole Vermilion crew just turn up out of nowhere. So, and if the racing's going to be that exciting, mate, are you guys going to hang around for next season?
We'll see what happens, man. We've got a lot going on next season. Running our own league, we've got to kind of see what we're doing, you know. But yeah, we'll see what happens. See if anything pops up that we enjoy. Yeah, we'll definitely jump in. But my focus is Scops and another championship.
Yeah, mate.
So yeah,
definitely. Well, I'll give you a little bit of insight. The 86s might be a mixed class race. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we could be incorporating a few different classes into the 86 series. So all that information will be released soon, mate. But did it feel good to be back out there in the SRW crowd?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, miss it to a point. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's
mate, sometimes I miss you on comms with me. That's for sure. You and your explosive excitement. Was that
definitely toned down since?
Has it? You've calmed down a bit, have you?
Yeah, I have gotten old, mate. I've gotten old.
Piss up. Old. I'm on my way to 40. Like very close to being 40.
No, I definitely calmed down, man. Still doing commentary though. The old Aaron Obersteller on our side of the pond with Vermilion Motorsports League. So still doing commentary.
That's awesome.
Smashing goals. So yeah, we just bring on two new commentators, which is awesome. So Mitch from the esports world of Dota and Liam Banks from GRC. So yeah, we just bring those guys on, and it should be very entertaining.
Yeah, mate, that's great. Good to see you doing so well across the pond, mate. Great to hear about the team that you're racing for doing so well as well, mate. Hope to see you back in any other series that we run, mate. Always a pleasure to see you out there on track, and the mic is all yours to shout out all your sponsors to make it possible for you to get out here on the track.
Oh, it's a bit of a list now. It's definitely a lot longer than what it used to be. So Berling Motor Group, Race Lab Overlays, Dr. Proxy, Next Level Racing, RSW Graphics, Turn In Racing Appeal, and Racecraft on top of that for myself.
Yeah, huge shout out to John at Racecraft, mate. He does a bunch for us as well, so gotta make sure get that shout out there for us. So
yeah, that's on the bonnet tonight. So it was good fun though. I haven't driven the 86 for so long. I was trying to learn it in qualifying, and the boys were trying to give me a few tips, and I'm like, what to do? You know what I mean? But it was good fun to race with the boys. You know, they're just brand new to the team as well. We've got around 25 drivers now, which is just mental. Two new boys jumping on the block, and I think it's their first proper race, and good results for tonight. Besides old Joshua turning around and spitting into the wall almost, but
he did a Sinkovich. He literally spun the exact same way and ended up nose first into the barrier in the same spot. So
I guess they were just celebrating too early, but I was just saying to them, hey, just take it easy, you know. But kids will be kids, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'm so glad you enjoyed the race, mate, and huge congratulations to yourself and Vermilion Motorsports. Phenomenal drive tonight, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, mate. Hope to catch up soon.
Too easy. Will do, mate. Have a good one. Bye.
Catch ya. All right, that was P3 tonight for our CAMMUS Toyota GR86 Series. Connor Nixon from Vermilion Motorsports. We'll be moving on to P2, which is Dan Bartouche from ShiBBy Racing, I believe it was. I think I got that right. Dan. Hello, Dan. Calling Dan.
Oh, how are we going?
Good, mate. How you doing?
Oh, very good, very good. That was an absolute ball. Had a blast out there tonight. It was awesome.
Yeah, mate. I thought you were new to SRW, and then someone dropped into the chat and was like, "He races the TCR." I was like, "Aha!"
Yeah. I've been running the TCRs, and got a couple of Thursday nights off work, so I thought I'd jump into these bad boys and have a run.
Heck yeah. And did you enjoy it tonight?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Mate, the racing that we got to witness here right from the comms box was absolutely phenomenal. I've already marked it as my favourite race of the 86s of this season. And, mate, you've gone from front-wheel drive cars to the rear wheel. Did you find much of a difference in the changeover, or you've been racing for quite a while and it's sort of pretty easy to swap over?
No, it was. It took me. I had to do a little bit of practice running because, they're a different beast. Front wheel drive pulling you around the track, to rear wheel drive pushing you around the track. So, but yeah, it's all the lines are the same. All the braking markers are similar. Little cars.
Little cars, little engines, except I think the TCRs go faster than these things.
Yeah, I think they're about 6 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big difference in power.
Yeah, but these things are a bit easier to get around the corners. Not as much under. So.
Yeah, you can get onto the power a little sooner through the apexes on these, whereas you do that in the TCR, and she goes, I'm going to point you straight off the edge of the track any second now.
Yeah, that's it. But, something different. And, really enjoyed it. Some really good racing. The cheap station start there. So I just thought I'd sit back behind that battle and just watch it play out. Yeah, lucky enough to move through the field, mate.
Yeah, man, it was so hard to keep track of where everybody was tonight, because I feel like everybody was in the top 3 at one point tonight, and then a few spins, a few battles, and then positions changed. Like at one point you dropped down out of the top 10, and then all of a sudden you're climbing your way back through again, mate. How'd you feel driving around the 86 drivers of the SRW League?
Oh, really good. Had some really good battles in there, and it was all's fair in love and war, and had Connor chasing me down there at the end. So I thought, hopefully there's only one more lap to go, because starting pressure on a lot quicker. So, on that last lap, I tried to hold him out. We had a bit of contact with a couple of corners to go, but it was all good.
Mate,
so that's the beauty of these cars. You can give them a little bit of a tap here and there, and it's all good.
Yes, mate. Well, it was a phenomenal drive. I hope you go back and check out the broadcast, mate, because it was an absolute cracker. I'm sure Ryan can agree as well.
Yeah, man, it was a great race. Are we saying your last name right? Is that Bartush?
Yeah, Bartush, yeah.
Bartush, yeah.
I want to pronounce it with an U, though, Bartush.
You can do that. That's fine. That's
I'm going to. I'm the one commentating, mate. So that's what's going to happen.
Cowie gives me a Bartosh.
A Bartosh.
In the TCRs. So I might as well have 4 different pronunciations of it.
Yeah, mate. Definitely. It's what we like to do here. We never do things the same way on different broadcasts. It's always different. So
that's all right, mate. I've been called worse than that, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's probably by your own family, right? Because that's where I usually get the bad ones from.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyway, mate, congratulations on a P2 finish. This we are chatting with Dan Batush from Jetty Boy Racing. Has finished P2 in our penultimate round tonight, mate. The mic is all yours to shout out the sponsors that keep you out there driving on track.
Mate, well, this is short and sweet. Just shout out to Eastern Tour Services in Port Macquarie. That's my old man's business. Watches the stream every week and cheers me on and gives me plenty of support. So, thanks to Eastern Tour Services at Port. If you want to fly to Lord Howe Island, give them a buzz and they'll get you out there.
Mate, what's down in Lord Howe Island?
Hey?
What's down at Lord Howe?
Oh, lots of stuff.
Oh, good. Sounds great. You've signed me up. Get me a ticket right now.
Get in there. Snorkeling, swimming, beautiful beaches.
I freaking love stuff, mate. Good selling. Well done.
So it's good for stuff, mate. Good for stuff.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the comms box tonight. Dan, go and celebrate. And, I'm sure we're going to see you out on track for the, what day is it? It's Thursday, for the championship round next week in the TCR, mate. So good luck in that, and possibly see you out here again on the Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, thank you very much. Enjoyed myself. Thank you.
No problems at all, mate. All right, from P2, that was Dan Batouche from ShiBBy Racing here tonight for our CAMMUS Toyota GR86 Round 8. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. Onto our P1 and round winner tonight, Jamie Christensen for Vermilion Motorsports.
Hello.
Hey, mate.
Hello.
Hey, how come a couple of weeks ago you were on the same team as me and now you're on a really fast team? What happened?
I got an opportunity to join them and I took it, so.
Mate, no, good choice, bud. There's always opportunities out there in the sim racing world, isn't there, to progress your driving, and swapping teams is just one of those things. It happens in all sports, mate, so it's really good to see you out there. I'm good mates with Connor. I've known Connor for a while and I've done some commentating with him, so it's great to see you out there, and I'll tell you what, those cars look good.
Yeah, they do look good.
It's
good livery.
Good. Yeah, it is good, mate. Hey, mate, you got yourself a podium tonight.
I did last time and the time before and the other time before, I think.
And the other time before?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations on a win tonight. That was... It was an easy win once you got out of the pack, but I tell you what, sitting in that mid pack, it just didn't look fun.
Yeah, I heard a lot of screaming at the start of the race behind me, and I did not know what was going on.
Was it the tyres? Because there was a bunch of tyre squeal off the line. Like it was...
No, I heard people screaming, not tyres.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh mate, it was on for young and old. It was honestly a super exciting race though. Like it was so good to watch, mate. Really appreciated the show that everybody put on tonight. Again, mate, you and Josh, once you guys get out there, you're just gone. It's see you later. Like you just pull away so easy.
Yeah. I did disappear eventually. And then Josh caught back up because I had 24 incident points out of 25 4 laps before the last lap or something like that. So yeah, it's very easy to get incident points on that track as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We actually saw a lot of... Sorry, mate. I just zoned out for a second there. Yeah, on the incident points, mate, we saw quite a lot of cars copping drive-through penalties all through the night. So
yeah,
it wasn't just you. It was definitely across the field. Where was like one of the main culprits of this track where you guys seem to be copping those incident points?
The run after turn 3, the fast left into the long right, that is a really easy spot to get incident points if you try to take that quickly. So okay. I think I got an incident point every single lap on that corner or something.
Oh my gosh.
And you don't get a slow down there.
Oh, so you just cop the incident point, but you don't get the slow down.
Accidentally, but...
Yeah. You know what I say. Yeah. It's track limits in iRacing. Some tracks they're, really, generous with where you can run off, and others are just like, as soon as you put half a wheel over the line, they're like, nope, sorry. Bad luck. So.
Some of the corners were like, you could go all the way to the edge of the curb, and some of them weren't like that. You could only go to the white line.
Ah, right.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yep, iRacing. You got to sort some things out. Also, maybe bring some rain. I'm looking forward to seeing some rain, mate. What do you reckon the thoughts of rain in the 86s?
Oh my god, rain would be so fun.
yeah. You could actually probably do a line lock in the 86.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It'd be chaos, but...
As if it could get any more chaos than tonight, man. Like, go and rewatch the broadcast, and holy smokes, that was awesome.
I do need to do that, because I saw absolutely nothing.
So... You saw absolutely nothing apart from clean air and just racetrack in front of you, mate.
I saw clean air the whole time until Josh passed me, and 3 laps later he spun in front of me. That's about all I saw.
Oh, mate. Well, look, we know you're bloody quick in these 86s. We've seen it all season. Congratulations on your move to Vermilion as well, mate. Great to see them all coming over. I really hope that more of them come through and check out what series we have to offer next season. We'd love to see more of yous out there, mate. Huge congratulations on another podium win tonight. We did do the points up, and I think it still sits correct that John McHenry is still leading the championship, mate, by 1 point.
I used my drop round for last round because I didn't do the second race. So.
Ooh, okay. Ryan, did you incorporate a drop round for?
I did not. I have no idea what it's like after a drop round.
Oh, so we're gonna have to wait to the points updated.
I think I should have 100 points or something around that. Like, that's how much the round was that I missed.
That'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if J-Mac uses a drop round as well.
I mean,
I don't think he's used one yet.
Forced.
No, he hasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
your
forced,
worst, your worst placement if you don't choose to use one is 4. So, mate, it could be interesting. Mr. Consistent J-Mac and Mr. bloody Jamie Christensen, speed demon bloody extraordinaire in these 86s. Mate, championship round next week. How much practice are you going to be putting in?
Probably the 2 hours you get, because that's what I do every week.
Yep, nice. That's all you need, though, mate. I think next week, just to make it a little more exciting, you're only going to get 20 minutes of practice, right?
I did 20 minutes of practice at VIR for the first round, and I put it on pole.
Mate, you're just too bloody good. Too bloody good. Awesome, mate. Well, congratulations on the P1 and the round win tonight. Phenomenal drive from you, as always. Hey, mate, you got your sponsors written down for Vermilion? Because I can't tell you these ones.
I do have them written down. Would you like to hear them?
Yeah, mate. Tell us all your sponsors that keep you driving out here on track.
All right. Well, thank you for Burling Motor Group, Race Lab Overlays, Dr. Epoxy, Next Level Racing, RSW Graphics, and Turn In Race Apparel. I butchered that so hard. For sponsoring Vermilion Motorsports.
Yeah, you probably want to say sorry to all your teammates out there in chat for butchering the sponsors. It's all right, guys. At least he wrote them down, because for a while I had to
I didn't write them down.
Yeah, he had to get me to do the sponsors for him. So it's a good step forwards for Vermilion Motorsports. He's writing his own sponsors down, but bloody congratulations, Jamie. Great to see you out there racing. And again, like, congratulations for you and Josh, actually, for the move to Vermilion. I think it's going to do great things for you guys. And as I said, I hope to see more of you guys head on over to SRW and check out what series we're going to be running next season. So, but mate, good luck next week in the championship round. I cannot wait to be on comms and broadcasting that for you all.
Yeah, one thing before I go. Apparently, it's going to Silverstone National. Is that right?
Oh, hang on.
Because
let me.
I think it should be Spa. I think that'd be more exciting for you guys.
Well, I read the calendar and it said Spa.
Yeah, but if you go in here, Mr. Fritz said it will no longer be at Spa. Instead, raced at Silverstone National layout.
Where do you put that? I've missed that.
The open chat.
Oh, open chat in GR86. Ah, I'm looking in GT3. That's why I can't find it. That'll make sense.
Just saying. As a personal opinion, I reckon it should be at Spa.
No longer be at Star, be raced at Silverstone National layout. Right, I was actually really excited for bloody Spa.
So was I.
Right, anyway, well, we'll see what happens. It does look like it is locked in for Silverstone. Once the series information is updated in Discord, we'll have that completely locked in. But yeah, anyway, mate, look, I'm honestly looking forwards to the final race. So the championship round is going to be a cracker. You and McHenry are just going to have to duke it out on track, mate. Again, huge congratulations. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you out on track again next week, mate.
Yeah, I'll look forward to racing again next week.
Yeah, bud. Get out there, have a blast.
I will.
All right,
Hopefully
mate.
I win.
Yeah, Yeah, it's looking like I don't want to jinx you. I'm not going to say anything
Oh,
more. I'm
last time
saying,
you said that.
No, that's what I said. I'm not saying anything else,
did
Jamie.
2 pit stops and a drive-through.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not talking anymore. Hey, Ben, if you want to come drive with SRW, head to www.simracingworld.com.au. You do need to register as a driver over on the website. It's completely free. Once that is done, you'll get a Discord link that will bring you straight over to our Discord. PM League admins and ask, but I'm probably going to say, being the championship round, we're probably not going to want to take in any last minute drivers, because if that puts someone else's championship on the line, if you haven't raced this season, you want to jump in for the championship race, mate, there's probably going to be a very high chance that we say no, just because we can't allow that someone else's championship to get ruined accidentally or whatever. So awesome,
To be
mate.
fair, it is Ben, and he's pretty clean from what I know.
All right, well, we'll leave it up to all the league owners and admins, mate, but feel free to go ahead in the Discord and yeah, just ask the question, mate. You're either going to get told yes or no, so the only way to find out. But go and celebrate with your team. Jamie, I want to say a huge shout out to, of course, CAMMUS for getting on board for our Toyota GR86 Series. Warner & Brown Tools for our round sponsors. Of course, Toyo Sim, who came on board for our qualifying session. Tempting Sweets, head to temptingsweets.com.au, use promo code SRW10 to get 10% off. Of course, simrigs.com, use code SRW5 to get another 5% off any of your purchases. Also, cannot forget, SimMagic. SimMagic is the one that I keep forgetting. Don't forget to go check out SimMagic as well. And I'm totally forgot one. Home of the V8 coffee table. Dear, oh dear.
Oh, that's a new one.
Quick, Ryan. Who's home of the V8 coffee table?
Sorry? Grim Industries.
Grim Industries, that's the one. I nearly forgot about Grim Industries. Go check out Grim Industries on Facebook. They are actually doing up our trophies for us this season, so it's going to be absolutely awesome to see our drivers get proper trophies. And of course, massive shout out to all our viewers for joining us for every broadcast, and not just helping support the Broadcaster League, but mainly supporting the drivers out there and having a crack every week. So thank you all for joining us. And of course, thank you, Ryan, for joining me again tonight for our 86 series.
Thanks for fighting through the SDK shenanigans.
Oh, mate, I think I'm a bit of a pro, and I feel like I'm a aged classic at this now. So, but yes, mate, I am absolutely hanging for next week. It is going to be one cracker of a race, guys. If you are on YouTube, don't forget to hit that notification bell to get notified every time we go live, because as of Sunday night, that will be the last of our penultimate rounds with our simrigs.com V8 Supercars Pro-Am. Tuesday night starts our championship rounds. So please stay tuned for all of that. I have been Nathan ShiBBy Howard. It has been Ryan Green next to me in the comms box tonight. We are going to end this broadcast by saying stay safe and race hard.